welcome to Gosport Railworks. My name's James and today we're doing another 3D printed product showcase video. Hopefully by the time I'm recording this one, you probably would have seen at least one or two of the other ones. So yeah, hopefully I'll get all the feedback from the previous videos and I'll find out if this series is continuing. But if not, I'll work out something else. So yeah, I'll find out after this. But yeah, I've got 3 types of products today. A bit less than last time, but this is how many I actually plan to do each month anyway. So yeah, I've got some coaters, I've got a steam engine, and I've got some more multiple units. So I'll just go through them one by one. First lot is the Southern Railway Thanet stock. These are predating the Mornsall stock, and they do look quite nice. Has very nice handrails which have come out quite nicely. I'm very happy with them. And on the other side, you will see some of these coaches having a little bit of issues with the windows, but that's because these were the prototypes and I did fix them with later ones, so they should end up being a bit more like these, which are the brake ones. I printed them a bit afterwards. So yes, and I've still got some supports left on. There we go. So yeah, they end up looking quite nice. This is a LSWR G6. I did have one before. In fact, this is the chassis from the one before. And yeah, I decided just to make my own one so that people can still buy a LSWR G6. It is slightly different from my O2, but I have updated the O2 as well because it's very similar. In fact, this one fits a Farish 060 chassis, though probably not the was it the Ginty one which I've got it on at the moment. Probably a bit more better with the 6400 one, the GWR pannier tank. And I've got some more EPBs, but these ones are the Bulleid ones. So these are actual Southern EPBs. I've only got 2 of them at the moment because I'm replacing my actual my 2 EPB and my 2 HAP. So this is what they used to look like. And yeah, I have actually also updated the BR EPBs as well to have a few more of the bits which I'm adding to later things. So they will have handrails and also the front details over here. So yeah, so that's what the BR one will look like, and the Southern one looks like this. Yeah, very nice looking. Yeah, that I'll recycle at some point. Well, I say recycle, get bin in a bit. And yeah, I'm going to get them onto my table and tell you a bit more about how to put them together. And then I'll get them onto my turntable so you can have a closer look at each one of them, and then tell you a bit more about the prototypes. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Right, here we have pretty much all 3 of them, just so I can show you how to put them together. We'll start with the coaches again, just to show you how to put them together, and it's quite easy. So I'll put you lot over there, and I'll keep this on me just in case. And we'll just show off a bit more of the details. So yeah, there's the brake there, the 3rd brake, and yeah, it looks quite nice. Very happy with how it's all turned out. You will see this a bit more in close up for all 4 of the coaches. Well, at least of the 2 different varieties at least. But yeah, very happy with how it's turned out. Let's see, anything particular for this one? Not really. The detail, I said, it turned out quite nicely. I didn't really have too much an issue with the vent from top, but I managed to find a nicer picture showing that off, and I think it also did so on the plan, so that's turned out quite nicely. I said the only thing which you may need to be careful of when put together is finding any supports which I've left over, because yeah, sometimes I do like to get stuck in there, even while cleaning them off. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing which you really need to look out for. But how to put it together basically undercoat it for both of them. Make sure this one is sprayed black. This one spray in the livery of your choice. I'll be painting mine in BR green. Then paint all the little details, so over the handrails are probably silver, which I'll be doing. Once it's all nicely painted, add all the glazing on the inside, which would be fairly easy because it's nice and smooth. And yeah, then glue this onto the bottom here, maybe fill in the rest of the flooring on the bottom, and then finally add bogies, and then cap that off just so that the bogie doesn't fall off. And that is it. Oh, and also add buffers. Make sure you add them as well. And there's another spot I've missed. There we go. I have been considering adding buffers, but yeah, I have had some people say that they actually prefer turned brass buffers. So I'll have to have a think about that at some point. I'll pop you lot over there and onto the multiple units. I've only got one of them here because the other one's sat over there. And this one is the back. It's pretty much exactly the same as the coat. So undercoat, paint it, all that lot, add the glazing, pick out details, and then glue the underframe on, then add the bogies and buffers and all that other lot. So that's how that's done. This pretty much the same thing, apart from all the well, this is what I've started to do now for the actual power unit, is add a little bit of a I don't want to say it's a flange, but there's something like a little lip just for the actual body to sit on, just so it's got a bit more support, and it also helps level it out quite nicely so it's not falling a bit too much. Because if I show you the other one, yeah, sometimes it does like to sink in like that. And yeah, it's very awkward trying to line it up quite nicely. So I started adding a little bit of a lip, which you can just paint black and you won't be able to notice it, and it helps give it a little bit more support and helps line it all up. And that's pretty much it really. So it's pretty much like a coach. I'll pop you there, and finally onto the G6. Take that off. Right, this is a Ginty chassis, and pretty much strip it all off, take the PCB out, get some I think it's not breadboard, but some of that strip board, some of that that board with strips of copper and holes in. I think I have got some. Yes, I have got some. Some of this stuff. File it down so it's a bit more thinner. I'll pop you over there, and then use that to wire in the motor wires. And also, if you've got a decoder, you need to make sure it's over there. This is technically back to front because the rear of the Ginty will be on this side. This will be at the front, but we need it the other way around because we need the space. We need the motor at this end instead of at the other end. And yeah, then it's basically add all the weights on the inside, because you do need to add a bit, quite a bit of weight on the inside just to make it so that it has a lot of, so it has enough traction. This is actually pretty much the same as my brass kit, which I did have, probably about a gram or two lighter. I may need to remove a few weights at the back here just so it's a bit more space for the decoder, and then fill up the bunker mostly with weight. Then you can add coal in afterwards, paint it all in whatever livery you feel like, undercoat it both sides just to make sure that the lead strips here or whatever weight you're using is nicely covered and not going to cause any issues. And yeah, and add railings and all the other nice things pretty much. And yeah, then it's just the matter of fact of just getting it nicely sat on top of the chassis, which is the reason why I'm now suggesting to use a 6400 chassis, because it's a little bit too big, so it may work better on a slightly smaller chassis. And that's pretty much it really. So yeah, let me get them onto the turntable, and then I can tell you a bit more about each of the prototypes, and then we can put them back onto my layout and finish things off. So I'll see you in a bit. Oh, I may get this one running. So yeah, see you in a bit. The LSWR G6 class was a 060 tank locomotive designed by William Adams for the London South Western Railway. In 1893, the LSWR was in dire need of a new locomotive to solve the requirement for additional motive power. A new class of yard shunters was required to supplement the railway's current stock of 060 tank engines, which dated from 1881 and had been constructed by Brayer, Peacock and Company. Therefore, a need of a compact freight design was highlighted. The new design was designated Class G6 by Adams, who intended the class to be a 060 version of his 02 class passenger locomotive. The wheel arrangement was ideal for the tight curves and traction needed in shunting activities, with the shorter wheelbase helping to solve both of these concerns. The G6 class was a highly localized, very useful locomotive design that very rarely ventured off the LSWR network, even in service with the Southern Railway. The class was highly successful in undertaking the tasks that they were designed for, and were respected by their crews. They rarely undertook passenger work, though they did undertake banking duties between Exeter St David's and Exeter Central on occasion, until the Stroudley E1R class took on this task in 1933. After nationalisation, two members of the class eventually found their way into departmental service, both being allocated to Neldon Quarry in Devon. The first withdrawal was number 348 in August 1948, followed by a larger number of 22 by the end of 1951. The final survivor was a 64-year-old example, number 30238, though this locomotive was one of the last to be withdrawn as part of the modernisation plan in late 1962. None of these useful locomotives have survived into preservation. In 1951, the Southern region started building a new type of suburban EMU, the EPBs, so named because they were fitted with electro-pneumatic brakes. Although mechanically different and not compatible with the earlier stock, they essentially took over from where the four-sub construction ended. Indeed, many early four-car units had trailers released from withdrawn four-sub units, and in true Southern tradition, underframe units from older withdrawn EMUs were reused. The 1951 units were to the Bulleid design, the chief spotting differences between the subs and the EPBs being that the EPBs had roller-blind headcoats, though some sub-units also did have roller-blind headcoats. The driving cab front doors were more upright and rectangular on the EPBs, and most obviously the EPBs' driving cabs had side windows which were not mounted within a door, the cab now being reached from a door serving a vestibule. Early Southern design for EPBs also had a range strip high up on the roof, as on the subs, but the later BR designed EPBs and all two EPBs had their range strip at cantrail level. BR designed EPBs were introduced in 1957. These were built to the BR standard designs, and so their body sides did not have the pronounced Bulleid curvature nor the lights above the doors. They also had a slight roof overhang on their cab ends. Under BR tops, 4 EPBs came Class 415, with the subclass -1 being the Southern design units built upon the salvaged 2 null underframes, and the -2 being the BR design units to the Mark I coach design. Similarly, the 2 EPBs came Class 416, along with 2 HAPs becoming Class 414, both with the same subclass distinctions. When the Southern Railways formed, very little corridor stock was inherited from the SECR, yet there was an urgent need for modern stock on the eastern section. At 9 foot, the ex-LSWR ironclads were too wide for some routes in North Kent, so Maunsell and Lyons produced a design that was to the same length but reduced in width to 8 foot 6 inches. Like the ironclads, they had British standard gangways and screw couplings. The Thanet displayed certain SECR details, perhaps the more noticeable being the L-shaped commode handles. Only 3 types of Thanets were produced: a 5-compartment brake third, a 8-compartment third, and finally a 7-compartment composite. They were an unlucky group of coaches. Out of 27 Thanets built, 9 were lost in accidents or through enemy action. Early set formations were fluid, but by 1928 there were 8 sets made of wholly of Thanet coaches. 2 4-coach sets, a single 6-coach set, 4 7-coach sets, and a single 8-coach set, plus many loose examples. The 6, 7, and 8-coach sets, except one, had in addition a first, though later composite, Pullman coach inserted to provide with reference. These 8 sets survived until 1959, but the length and composition varied over the years, and non-planets appeared in some in the later years. Others were loose, and in 1946 some thirds were formed in 2-car sets with SECR Wainwright third-case corridor brake composites for Ashford to Hastings services. Several vehicles survived in departmental service, some becoming mobile offices, others into staff and tool vans, while 2 became mess rooms. However, none of these coaches survived into preservation. Right, and here we are with everything back on the layout. So I've got all the EPBs over here, and they did look quite nice. I'm quite happy with how they turned out. I've got my G6 here with 2 of the coaches to be pulled round. And yeah, I've borrowed the bogies from the EPBs, so they'll go back to how they were. But yeah, quite happy with how everything's turned out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. So do let me know what you think of everything. And also, again, let me know what you think of the series. Hopefully, I'll start getting feedback by the time this one comes out. If not, there'll be another one, and eventually I'll get feedback. But yeah, quite happy with it. And so the only thing which is a slight concern is just the G6 on the wrong chassis. But oh well, see what I can do. Anyway, I did promise us to run something round, and here we are for G6. Well, it will go off into the distance while I close up. But yeah, hope everyone, like I said, if you do like the video, do feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't like the video, well, I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And that's going to be it for me. So I'm going to tidy this lot away, and eventually I'll get round to finishing all these things which I keep printing. So so yeah, take care, everyone. See you again next time. Bye bye. Let's see if I can get it running. You were running a minute ago. There we go. Take care now.